Hey, it's Jsnow, and before we go into the major details of this video, I did get a lot of blowback due to pointing out that the WoW 16th anniversary was bad, and then people were saying, oh no, it's not Blizzard's fault, they're working hard on Shadowlands, they totally won't do this on purpose and put low quality stuff out, it's Activision's fault. And then I was accused of disinformation, a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Well, you know that meme, oh blank, it's here we go again. Well, yep, here we go again with the Shadowlands Pre-Patch. So what's the issue with Pre-Patch? It is a mess full of bugs, serious game-breaking issues, and systems that are just meant to increase playtime to make those investors happy. Really crazy this year, and is making this possibly the worst pre-patch ever. So, what do we have here? So, the point of the pre-patch, other than the dailies that are pointless, that I'll go into in a bit, is to camp rares that take 20 minutes to spawn and then 2 minutes of invulnerability to help people get there, but you'll only get the warning when 2 minutes comes, and the boss has literally no health. The boss dies super quick. You will lag to death, even though somehow there's no cross realms, so these are all people technically from my server unless they invited somebody. So you're seeing this crazy lag that dropped my FPS to 19 from just killing a boss that is supposed to drop loot every single day, but you're not guaranteed it. And of course somebody says rest in peace your graphics card, and that is true, because for some reason, even after exiting the game, re-entering the game, turning off add-ons, after I killed this boss, my FPS never recovered. I'm now stuck at 30 to 40 FPS for some weird reason when I normally get 60 plus, even with almost max settings on. So, I mean, if a game totally breaks your graphics card, yeah. But then the other issues is everything is reused. There is, I don't think, other than maybe a pet and one other thing, there is literally nothing new in this patch. Nothing. It's all reused stuff. They literally copy and pasted. And now for the people defending this, I'm going to actually give a counterpoint to that is, do you really want to wait 7 hours to kill every single boss every day because it's on a random 20-minute spawn to get your T-Mog weapons, most of which are just reused content? And then do you want to spend, time doing dailies that are just pick up and kill quests? The quests are terrible. They're not interesting. They're completely disappointing. It's as if they just added another daily faction, just copy-pasted and called it a day. And I think somebody also pointed out that one of the dailies, which I think is to kill the reanimating dragon animators right near the top of Icecrown, is literally the same quest from Wrath of the Lich King. I mean, even look at this. They tell you, oh, go explode a, necropolis cigarette or whatever. Look. Michael Bay. Bam. But anyway, it's just, the disappointment is insane, and then they don't even give you, like, a good idea of, like, what you're even looking for. So, thank God they added, the map pins that you can use. You have to right-click on the location part, because if you right-click on map pin, it won't work. Because, of course, classic bugs are classic bugs. So, they don't even tell you where the mob is. It will show up on the map as a tiny skull when you have 2 minutes left, and it will die in 5 seconds. And also, if the mob, like, for example, this one, is on 2 different floors, you're not going to know which floor it is until it's too late, or if you're not paying attention. So right here, everybody who's on the first floor is screwed, and now they have to wait another 7 hours if they want to kill that certain boss again. Unless they like server hop. I don't even know if server hop works. I don't think it does, considering every boss pretty much dies in 1 second. They should all spawn at about the same time, and they also have a set spawn order. Now, the only other thing on the event that is of any importance, because most of it is useless, is you get to fight one of the most controversial bosses in the last expansion. Everybody hates his guts, and you get one of the most terrible, bugged, pointless boss fights of any pre-patch I've ever seen. I mean, not to take the fact that everything was copy and pasted, you would think the thing that was not copy and pasted would be awesome, right? Well, these skeletons give you a clue of what it actually feels like. So if you missed day 1, you're gonna be in trouble, because the more people that just give up on doing this boss, the harder it's gonna get to find people. I think you can use the dungeon tool, but I already killed him, so I can't use the dungeon tool. It won't show up. It'll show up as a world quest once you do the intro quest. But all the boss does is stand still, puts an earthquake exactly where he stands if somebody's standing there. Shoots poison. That leaves a thing. If you're standing there, you die. And you die in like 2 seconds. Like, if you stand in the fire, I mean, that's how it should be, but if you stand in the earthquake, you die. It's that simple. And his hit range is like, you know, all the way to Stormwind from Eastern Plaguelands. Like, it's broken. It's absolutely broken. So here you're going to have a great example of when the boss starts and then all of a sudden the earthquake drops on you with no warning. The pet starts attacking random people and it's just pandemonium. Like, I didn't even kill this boss and I didn't realize, because despite his low health when there's nobody here, he hits like an absolute truck. And then because you can't pull him anywhere, tanks are useless. See, as you can see right here, he put the poison and the earthquake on himself. So, yeah, if you're a tank, you're going to die anyway, especially if there's no healers, because guess what? You can't move the boss, and you probably can't hold threat. And then you're also on top of the fact that he has pets that hit you from 1,000 miles away. I mean, the pet even somehow was targeting someone who was just flying over the boss, like high up. You'll see in a second. And then if you look closer, you'll see the boss sniping people through the floor, like, and we don't even know where they are. We don't even know. So, lastly, I'll go into the loot in a bit as far as the disappointment with the loot. I mean, spoiler, it's all reused content. But anyway, this sets a bad example and precedent of how Blizzard Activision's going forward. People think that Activision pulls the strings, but it really is Blizzard at this point. Other than like stupid things like the 7-hour timer, that's clearly an Activision, you know, increase your playtime metric, make it look good kind of thing. That's obviously Activision. But the poor quality of each and every event that comes out has been trash. And people are still defending it, thinking, oh, they're going to work on Shadowlands. But Shadowlands has really bad reviews from a lot of the beta testers because they were keeping in really dumb systems that would lock you into like a certain class or covenant. Like a thing for optional transmog also locks you into a best in slot ability. Like, that doesn't make sense. That was like an early on issue. They may have reverted that. Then there's also people saying there's not much to do, which of course will be a death sentence because we all know how Warlords of Draenor turned out when they put like no content in and it was like just a disaster of an expansion other than the leveling experience, which was awesome. And then there was a whole bunch of other issues with like tuning and stuff. And then they delayed and even when they delayed the expansion, people were still saying on the beta forums there's like a million issues, and it's basically a repeat of the BFA expansion. I didn't play in the beginning of BFA, but I got bored. I got the beta access for BFA. I got bored and I stopped. I think it's the first time I ever got a beta to a World of Warcraft expansion. I've only gotten like 3. I think Mist of Pandaria, Warlords, and whatever this, and BFA. And I stopped because it was just bad. It was so bad, I didn't even sub until like 3 months later, when they actually fixed some of the stuff. Excuse me. So, I think overall this is just a bad sign to the game quality because I don't see it improving. People are leaving Blizzard. People have left a long time ago, and there's people even up until like a few months ago are leaving. I think even when they delayed Shadowlands, somebody left. But it shows you, you know, that's not good faith in your product. And then also they fired. I mean, not fired, sorry. They don't pay their customer support livable wages to the point where they're going homeless, which is, you know, great because, you know, Activision CEOs got to buy that another yacht. So I'd say that's more Activision's fault as far as the payments and the 7-hour boss time, which is pointless other than to increase metrics to get people to try to get FOMO or addiction to World of Warcraft and try to get every single transmog that's not guaranteed to drop. They also added a 34 slot bag, and I hope that's guaranteed. But hey, I gotta wait another 6 hours for that boss to spawn. But anyway, I just don't see this getting any better. And then the same as the last celebration, which is still going on, reward, the 16th anniversary celebration. Guess what? All reused transmog from a set that was in a PvP set. Every set of gear is reused. The toy might be new and the pet might be new. I'm not 100% sure, but the gear, not only is it trash as far as gearing up if you want to gear up for Shadowlands, which is not really a big issue, Blizzard couldn't take 5 seconds to make either a new gear type or even just bring back the old gear from previous Wrath of Lich King pre-patch, which looked way cooler than, you know, getting a PvP set that you can just get that you can just get again. Come on. So, in closing, this has to be probably the worst pre-patch ever, just due to the graphics card. I think there was one other pre-patch which was pretty bad, but it definitely didn't get to this point bad. I mean, you're putting a 7-hour time gate on a chance to get the transmog you want. You gotta be kidding me, right? And it only lasts for 2 weeks? Sure. That's nice. So, that's not player friendly, and all that people gonna do is rage quit. So, clearly, they hyped this up to try to get people to resub before Shadowlands due to the delay and stuff. That's why they didn't put it out right away, which I think is a scummy move. That might be an Activision move, but I think it's also a Blizzard move. Because if they delayed everything, you know, why can't you fix the most simplest things, like the minor bugs that end up being catastrophic? Or, you know, fix the timer. I assume the blowback's going to be huge, and they might revert the timer, but as of now, 22 minutes for your chance at a specific piece of loot on a specific boss that takes 1 second, you know, 45 seconds to die. It's not interesting and lags your computer to death. So, I do not have any faith in Shadowlands at the moment. I think they just delayed it because they didn't want to compete with Cyberpunk, because Activision, you know, they want that extra yacht, because the Cyberpunk will get in the way of that. So, you know, it's not surprising once Cyberpunk got delayed, magically Shadowlands got a release date. Interesting. So, what do you guys think of the pre-patch? Do you think I'm still magically complaining? Do you guys agree with me? Do you think this is going to be the case for Shadowlands? If you've been in the beta, feel free to let me know if they fixed anything. But anyway, this is a disaster. And I'm signing off because I am now out of breath.